Hello there, my name is Adam Barron and I am an Associate Professor in Creative Writing here at Kingston, and I'm also a novelist. I've published to date, this being January 2021, 8 novels. I started off as a crime writer, writing dark urban noir set in London. These were published by Macmillan, including this one, Super Jack, and another one, It Was You. I published 4 crime novels before turning to literary fiction with this book, Blackheath, published by Myriad Editions. And now I am currently writing for younger people. My first novel for children was Boy Underwater, followed by You Won't Believe This. And in January 2021, my latest novel, This Wonderful Thing, all published by HarperCollins. And my books have won awards and been translated to various countries across the world. And I wanted to talk a little bit about how my teaching here at Kingston impacts upon my practice as a writer. Now, if I was in architecture or fashion design or fine art, I could show you great visual examples of this, but all I deal with are these things on the page, just words. So I'm just going to have to talk to you for a few minutes. And I thought I'd just discuss maybe 2 concepts from the things we talk to with our students, both on our BA in creative writing and our MA, and to our MFA students, in fact, and PhD students. The sort of things which I try to get them to think about when I'm asking them how they can improve their writing. The first thing is metaphoric or symbolic ascension, and I was looking back through my own work and thinking how best I could talk about this, and I think it would be with Blackheath, my literary novel. So, symbolic ascension is a concept whereby objects are really useful in prose fiction. They can help your characters move from one place to another. They can be very expressive of mood and tone, but sometimes an object takes on a value that is greater than its explicit value. It begins to symbolize something about your world or your people. And in Blackheath, Blackheath has got 3 points of view in it, 2 female and 1 male. And one of my female characters, Amelia, finds a snow globe in a charity shop. You know, one of those things that you shake. It's got someone inside. It snows. Tourist rubbish, you know. But she picks it up and she buys it on a whim for £1, and she takes it home. And then she realizes that it's always women that she sees inside these things, and she makes a connection with her own life. She's feeling trapped in by motherhood and in a marriage that is not fulfilling her. And when she shakes it, the little flakes of snow don't look like snowflakes anymore, but grit. Okay, so that's the second time you see the object in the novel, and then the third time you see it, she breaks it as a symbolic effort to sort of free herself from her life. And the final time you see it in the novel, her son, she finds it. Her son has mended it for her, which he thinks is a really great thing, but of course it's not. So this simple object goes from being objectively a snow globe to being something else, and this allows me to show you what is happening to my character. But it does something else that Frederick Jameson, the great American critic, talked about with the work of Raymond Chandler, talking about the illusion of continuous discourse, how writers give the sense that they're writing a novel rather than writing an actual novel. And these mechanisms by which you can make parts of the novel speak to each other, it's just one way. It's just one way that we can begin to think about building long-form fiction: the novel, the screenplay, the stage play. And this is something that writers at Kingston really want to know. How can I take my talent for prose writing, short story writing, and how can I conceive of a longer piece of fiction? Well, that's just one little technique. Now, the other thing, unit, if you like, of creative writing teaching that we speak about. It's something called the inciting incident. This is the incident that begins your story. It's the incident that kicks everything off. In Anna Karenina, perhaps it's when Anna first sees Vronsky for the first time. It's when Romeo meets Juliet. It's when a shark eats a young woman in Jaws. These events that change the value charge of your protagonist's life and move them into narrative, move them into story. Now, I do a lot of teaching from a book called Story by the guru of screenwriting in the United States, Robert McKee. And I try to talk to my students about the inciting incident and trying to make it as extreme as possible and designing it with the central character in mind and designing the relationship between the inciting incident and the central character so that the inciting incident is as plangent and resonant as it can be. And I think if I think about this book, Boy Underwater, which is my first novel for younger readers, Cymbeline Igloo, and there he is. You can see him there. Cymbeline, my central character. The inciting incident in this book is that he falls into a swimming pool, and that would be fairly embarrassing in front of the rest of his classmates at a school swimming lesson. That would be fairly embarrassing for most of us. But when I had that idea, which I had helping one of my children's teachers with school swimming lessons at the swimming pool near my house, when I thought about that as an inciting incident, I then thought, as I encourage my students to do, how can I stretch my character? How can I stretch that inciting incident to make it really, really ring? Make it something of real horror that the reader can really, really connect with. And of course, that got me thinking that perhaps my character wasn't very good at swimming. I didn't think that was good enough. No. He's never been swimming. He's never, ever been swimming, not in his life. He has never set foot in the sea, a river, as he says, or a swimming pool, not once in his whole life. And then if he falls in, it's a much more radical event to occur to him. And Boy Underwater then becomes about why Cymbeline's mother has never taken him near water. And the whole novel is about the unravelling of that inciting incident. So these are just two of the many things that we talk about at Kingston with our students. Practical things you can think about to make your work better, objectively better, to take the idea that's in you that you really want to write and to form it into something that's really going to move, interest, delight other people, readers. So they're just two things. I write constantly. I teach a lot. I have another book coming out in November 2021 with HarperCollins. That's going to be called Oscar's Lion, another book for young people. And I'm constantly in the fortunate position for a writer that I'm constantly encouraging my wonderful young students, or not so young students, to think about writing in a critical way. And because I'm doing that with them, I'm also going back to my own work, asking the same sorts of questions that I'm asking them to ask themselves about their work. So that's it from me. If you're thinking of coming to Kingston to study creative writing with us, I look forward to meeting you, and I look forward to trying to show you some of the ways which I have used in the past to get these books published, and that I'm constantly using so that I continue to do what I want to do, which is publish novels. Thanks a lot.